Hello, Bay Broncos. It is March 27th, 2020, and this is Mrs. W. And today I'm going to be reading Chapter 4 of The Secrets of Droon, The Hidden Stairs, and the Magic Carpet. But first, an extra big shout out to my TK kindergarten and first grade friends who were able to make it for our assembly today. It was so nice to see your faces. And I can't wait to see you again for my second, third, fourth, and fifth grade Broncos. Within the next week or so, I'm going to have an assembly for you too. So I hope you'll try to make it and come say hello. So, Chapter 4, At the Bridge. You see there's a little bridge. Oomph! Eric rolled over and over until he stopped under the bridge. He looked up. He couldn't believe his eyes. Neil, Julie, I thought I'd lost you. Neil put his hand over Eric's mouth. Shh! Julie pointed to the top of the bridge. Those ugly red guys are up there. Eric nodded. Neil pulled his hand away. Eric started speaking as quickly and as softly as he could. He told Neil and Julie what had happened to him. We're in some place called Droon, he whispered. I met a princess named Kia. She gave me a message for her father, King Zello. Neil glanced at the paper in Eric's hand, then gave him a strange look. Uh-huh, sure. The red guys are called Nins, Eric continued. We have to see what they're up to. Give me a boost. Neil grumbled, but put out his hand so Eric could hoist himself up. A moment later, Julie was next to Eric. Together they peeked over the top of the bridge. Uh-oh, Julie whispered. On the bridge were at least a dozen Nins. Up close, their red faces were puffy and fat. Their slitty eyes were set close together. Their chins were pointed, so were their ears. On each hand were 6 clawed fingers. Lord Spar will be angry, one Nin snarled. The girl's too quick, snapped another. And my groggle's too slow. He nodded at his lizard. Ooga, ooga. A sound like a horn blasted through the forest. Then the ground rumbled. Is that a car? Neil whispered from below. Sort of, Julie answered, but it wasn't like any car they had ever seen. It was long and yellow and had a bubble on top. It bounced down the road on 8 fat tires. When it screeched to a stop in front of the Nins, a tall man stepped out. He was different from the others, Eric thought. He wasn't a Nin. His skin wasn't red or pale like Kia's. He was human, pretty much, well, except for 2 purple fins sticking up behind his ears. Where is the girl? He snarled. His long black coat dragged heavily across the ground. Look, that's who they're talking about. He looks human, except he has purple fins behind his ears. The Nins trembled. One looked up. The others helped her escape, Lord Spar, he said. Lord Spar's eyes flashed in anger, and the fins behind his ears suddenly grew darker. Did you see that? Julie whispered. He's some kind of wizard, Eric whispered back. Princess Kia said he was pure evil. How many others? Spar demanded. Another Nin held up his claw. He lowered 3 of his 6 fingers. 3, my lord. Scour the forest. Burn it down if you must, but find the girl. Find her friends, too. Lord Spar turned and stormed back to his yellow car. Ooga! Ooga! The horn blasted. The engine roared. The car tore away loudly down the road, leaving a cloud of thick blue smoke behind it. Flap, flap! The sound of flapping groggle wings filled the forest. A moment later, Eric and his friends were alone at the bridge. Lord Spar's definitely bad news, Julie said, and those ear fins are very weird. This whole place is weird if you ask me, Neil said. How do we get out of here? Eric frowned. Kia said to find somebody named Galen who lives in a tower. If we do, she promised to help us get home. And Galen is also supposed to send this message to her father. Eric unfolded the wrinkled paper Kia had given him. In thin blue ink it read, Beginnat decara el li frodnefros. See? It doesn't look like English to me. Eric scratched his head. Well, this doesn't make any sense. Julie laughed. No kidding. I mean flying lizards, bubble cars, and a guy with fins on his head? And all under your stairs, Neil added. Eric didn't answer. He looked into the forest where he had last seen Kia. He hoped she was safe, but something told him she wasn't. I think she's in danger, he said quietly. So are we, Julie added. Let's find this Galen guy, Neil said. The sooner we do, the sooner we get home. There's a path this way. Come on. Neil started running along the path. He rushed into a clearing, and he bumped his nose on something that wasn't there. That's the end of the chapter. So tomorrow I'll read chapter 5, The Vanishing Tower. You see that? The Vanishing Tower. Ooh. So he ran into something that wasn't there, and chapter 5 is called The Vanishing Tower. I have a little bit of a prediction. So hopefully you'll be able to come back tomorrow to hear chapter 5. Thanks so much for joining me, and I hope you guys are staying safe and enjoying your time with your family. And never forget, today and every day, it's great to be a Bronco. Remember my Bronco wave? Bye.